3, 2, 1. And we are live. And we are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Moms for Trans Kids podcast. Me llamo Doctora Lulu. I'm a pediatrician and life coach. I work exclusively in the LGBTQ plus advocacy space to help organizations support parents of queer kiddos, help parents support their queer kiddos, and help the world learn about transgender awareness information. So today we are joined by beautiful people to my left, to my right. Oh my God, everybody's smiling. Before I go into the intros, I want to say really quickly, for those of you who've been watching us, you see there's one face that is joined us today. So we have a person that is joining us again and almost, I think, on a permanent basis. We have Foster joining the crew. Hey, Foster.
Hey,
and then my usual suspects, Kim and Vicky. And today we're joined by a beautiful soul, Rowan, who has history with me. So I'm going to stop and we go alphabetically. And then actually, you know what? Alphabetically is Foster, then Kim, then Vicky, then Rowan.
Foster, Kim, Rowan, Vicky.
Rowan, Vicky. Okay. So in that order. And Vicky is going to be running the show today. So, all right, let's go.
I'm Foster. I'm just a non-binary parent of a child that's just raised without gender norms, and yeah, I'm just live and let live kind of person.
All right, Foster, I'm gonna need you to speak up a little bit louder.
Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm speaking loud. Okay, is that better? Is that a little louder? Okay.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, yeah, I'm Foster. I'm a non-binary parent.
All right. I am Kim, and I've been kind of Dr. Lulu's sidekick for a little while now. Yay. And I am a mother of 2 sons that happen to be transgender. My oldest is 22 and my youngest is 16. 2 separate journeys, 2 different challenges with each of them. And, I'm here to support them, love them through it, whatever we got to do, whatever it takes. And, speaking out for parents of transgender youth is really a passion of mine because, there's a lot of things happening right now in our current events, and we'll get to those later. But this is important to me, and this is why I'm here, and that's why I say what I say and do what I do.
Rowan?
Me. Hi, my name is Rowan. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a transgender male. I've been out for about 10 years, or started transitioning about 10 years ago. I was lucky enough to attend the Out and Equal conference this year and met the wonderful Dr. Lulu. We had fantastic conversations, and she invited me to come join, and I'm so excited to be here. I do a lot of work for the community from within my company's Pride group. And on my downtime, I like to write and draw a lot. A lot.
Good.
So I'm super happy to meet everybody.
Yeah, so happy to have you.
Hi, everyone. Hi, my name's Vicky. I'm a family medicine physician in North Carolina, mother of 3 amazing young adult children, one of which happens to be transgender, one of which happens to be non-binary, and another growing up young man in my house who is teaching me all kinds of new lessons too about parenting a child who's just kind of not shaking the rafters all the time. It's different. It's very calm. And I'm a family medicine physician, which is really gives me a sort of an incredible lens into the lives of families, people from all ages. And I'm very passionate about supporting transgender parents and transgender youth because I see every end of that, every side of that, and experienced it personally. So that's why I'm here. And I'm so excited to know Dr. Lulu and these amazing individuals and have this opportunity every week.
I love it. I'm here for all of it. And we have a bunch of people watching us from LinkedIn. I want to just give y'all a shout out. If you say something to us in the comments, we will give you a real shout out. That's Kim's job. So please don't be shy. I see a bunch of y'all watching. Please just say hello. Don't be shy, and we will give you a right back at your hello. But we're so excited to be here. I mean, we will definitely. What, Rowan? Was it Rowan?
No, I was going to say that's how I got wrapped up in this. LinkedIn,
Ah!
said hello, and now here you are. So you never know.
You never know, right? And we actually have a guest in backstage, Rowan's mom. I want to give her flowers because we're going to be talking about her also today. But I want to give her flowers for just coming and just being there for her kid. This is like if this was a real TV studio show. If it like was a real TV, she'll be in the back, she'll be backstage in the green room. So I want to give her flowers and cookies and milk. Right?
Honestly, that's accurate to real life. If it were like a real studio, that's exactly where she'd be.
That's exactly where she'd be. And that brings us to why we do the show. One of the things I discovered a long time ago was, I started thinking, I said, you know what? Most parents think that they're the most important person in their kids' lives. And I said, that's okay for you to think that. But I'm here to put a sock in it because I don't think you're the most important person, but I do think you're the most influential person. So what you're thinking and what you're saying and what you're doing, all of those things matter. So just imagine a situation where we have an adult trans man in the space, but their mom is here in backstage because it's what parents do. We want to hold y'all up and want to love y'all. But every now and again, we just don't know how. And that's what the Moms for Trans Kids are here to do. So without further ado, who wants to start with what they're grateful for the week? I'm going to go last, but yeah. So one thing you're grateful for, was it personal, whatever personal? I don't know. Yeah, Vicky, go ahead.
My youngest Will got on his school's basketball team.
Yes, awesome.
I know that's exciting. Lulu, you had this happen like a month or so ago, right?
Yes, it was volleyball. Yes, absolutely.
Like yes. I mean, I had nothing to do with it, but now I'll be going to like more sporting events. So
yeah,
awesome.
That's awesome.
Congratulations to him.
He's a junior, so I'm excited.
What about Foster? Anything else, Amy, Foster, Rowan?
It's small and again super personal, but like I'm grateful this week that my brain has been working with me, and I've been able to start up this event called National Novel Writing Month, which happens every November. I've been trying to do it every year since I was 18. I'm 33. That's a lot of years. And I don't always finish, but the idea is to write a 50,000 word novel in 30 days at least. And I'm right on track with my word count quota every day, and I'm getting my project out, and I'm so excited. That's the best feeling in the world as a writer, to be able to write. So really excited for that.
That's discipline.
Yes. That's great. Amazing. All right. Foster, Kim, who wants to go next? Gratitude moment. Anything personal?
You got one, Foster?
I'm like, my son blocked a ball at soccer, and that was really cute.
That is exciting.
He was very proud of himself. He's 4, and he's like the smallest one on his team.
Yes,
that's
so exciting.
And another really cute thing, like progressive, like in general for youth, is my son. He has very, very long hair. If anyone who has me on Facebook will see my son's hair is like past his shoulders. It's beautiful, long and flowy. And one of the teammates, dad's was like, "Oh, that little girl, blah, blah, blah." And then his daughter was like, "No, Thaddeus is a boy."
I love that.
And then he was like, "No, the little girl with the long hair." And they're like, "No, Thaddeus is a boy. He's just got long hair." Like they just kept no. And they were like, "Boys have long hair." And I was like,
"It can happen."
It can. They were really not about to let it down. They're like, "That's his mom right there." I was like,
love it.
And he was like, "Well, why does he have hair like a girl?" I was like, "Well, Thor has long hair, so
yeah."
Oscar, can you see if you want to increase your I can't hear you because I know The IT guy is going to have a hard time balancing the sound.
I actually love that about the hair. My brother's stepdaughter let her son's hair, it grew and it grew and it grew. And then right before he turned 3, a few months ago, she cut it. And it was just so beautiful and so long and so flowy. And then when they cut it, it's like, oh, there's this little man there. I mean, it was just really fun.
Anytime I have his hair pinned back, I'm like, oh no, you look so grown.
Go back, it makes him look so grown up. So.
But that's why I love what Foster is doing, not raising their child with any kind of gender norms. I think that's the beauty of it. Just I haven't seen the child, but what a beautiful story that you just like, telling you just how binary the world is and how the person's father was like, no, that girl. And the kid is like, no, that is a boy. And, I just I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing. That's a beautiful, I've never thought about that, but that's a good thing. It's a good thing.
That's what we want to do too.
Yes, that's what we all want to do. Yes.
It's going in the right direction.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What about Kim? Well, you got a minute.
All right. Well, and you'll have to remind me at some point, we're going to have to talk about haircuts again, because that's just fun for me. I went through two kids that had hair down to their waist.
Exactly. It's also
went to a total short cut. And it was emotional. And you know what? Even the people in the place that were doing the haircut were like, are you sure? Like, and both of them are like, yeah. So they handled it like a trooper, but meanwhile my heart's beating and I'm just like, oh, but they donated it and it made them feel good to do that. And it was fun. But
it's a hard transition.
For this week, okay, so one of the things I'm grateful for is that I have 2 sons that are real strong, because I bought a punching bag, like a standing punching bag with like the big heavy base. And it was off of Facebook Marketplace, but I bought it and it had 300 pounds of sand in it. And I wasn't quite sure how we were going to get that into my car and then out of my car and then into my house. But I'm grateful for my kids. They're definitely strong, and they helped us, maneuver it in, and everything was successful. But, it was one of those things that I'm just grateful that I was able to spontaneously go get one. Sometimes you need a little bit of something at home that you can use to kind of get out some frustration and things like that. And having that in our spare room now in our house, is going to be fun. So we're going to kind of set that up as like our little gym, our little private gym. So we've got, the yoga mat in there, the weights, and now the punching bag. And then I got that thing that you box to the music on the wall.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be putting that in there, and it's just going to be fun. So I'm excited. I'm grateful I have a house to do it in. I couldn't do that in my apartment. So, things are coming together.
Yeah. And for me, I think I want to mention, because most people don't know, Kim and I have a lot of history, but when Kim was still my client, when I was still coaching Kim, that was when the dream of buying the house even was. So this is just how far Kim has come. And then she bought the house, and then now the house is like giving back to her. This is just so beautiful for me, watching it just happen in real time over the last 2 years. It's just amazing. For me, I'm just grateful for, I am personally grateful for continuing to do my meditations. I can't say it enough. It has saved me twice this week already. Just the fact that I'm doing meditations. I skipped one day this week, but the fact that I'm doing it on a daily basis, it has really helped me to get centered. And I can't wait to see what I'm going to be like in 5 years, when I have like 5 years of meditation. So I want to just say I'm grateful for being able to meditate. That's it.
Okay.
Good for you.
Yes.
Well, we're right on time. I think we have a break, but I don't know.
Yes, we have a quick break. So my breaks, those of you who know my podcast, I just go on break and I come back, right? Because we don't have anybody to pay bills for or anything yet, but it's going to happen one day. So we're going to go on break, and we're going to be right back. We're going to pay some bills and then we'll come right back. But on a more serious note, though, I want to say thank you to everyone who's listening to us, who's been listening to us, who's been subscribing to the YouTube channel, who's been soon going to be downloading the podcast, because we go live officially next week and I cannot wait. So I can say y'all need to go and subscribe and download. I wanted to start seeing that. So I'm so excited. But we're back from break, Vicky. That's
okay,
it.
well, we're gonna so for the next 15 minutes, we're gonna go over some issues in the news, and we can do. I think that we basically agreed to discuss a recent article that was published, and we were looking at today. And sometimes it can be something political, sometimes it's medical, but this is basically covering both fronts. And there's a lot of discussion about the issue of detransitioning. And one of the things we talk about, and one of the reasons we're all here and so motivated to be here, is there's a huge backlash across the country with legislation basically taking away rights of transgender individuals in different states. And I live in North Carolina. Dr. Lulu, I know, is in Texas. And the rights of course, transgender youth have been, and their parents have been infringed upon. And now adult transgender individuals are being infringed upon in many venues across the country. So there is a propaganda sort of video that's going to be put out on certain social media sites that is discussing the topic of detransitioning. And I think it seems to be that's the great fear. And so many decisions a parent makes is thinking about protecting their child. You want to protect your child. You're afraid something bad would happen, or you don't want to make a wrong decision. And I feel that that's where these laws and these individuals have been trying to get at parents' fears. Like,
yeah.
And coming from a place of fear is never a really good place to come from. Come from a place of love, understanding, and actual true knowledge. And so the evidence, the scientific evidence, the medical evidence supports that transgender individuals exist. This is supported by every medical organization. Gender affirming care, which we've discussed several times, but we'll talk about again tonight, of course, involves not just surgeries and medications, but just whole person care. And as a family medicine physician, I'm all into whole person care, the whole picture, the whole family. So gender supportive care involves supporting the family, supporting the individual. The detransitioning question that is brought up and is being publicized is so very rare, very, very rare. And the evidence shows that this is a very small percentage. And I think that the article we shared, I don't know if Kim Foster, Dr. Lulu, anyone wants to kind of comment or maybe wants to talk about specifics, but the percentage of people that would detransition are very low, and the reasons they detransition. I don't know which one here wants to kind of go into that, but that's the important factor. If it's 1% to 2% of people that detransition, what leads to that?
What's the first? I want Rowan, our guest, to take a bite.
Yeah.
Rowan was
boy.
so excited to come on the show. Rowan, thank you so much for coming.
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. You're one of the two gender diverse people in the space, so we want to always defer to the people who have lived experience. So you, and then Foster, and then the rest of us. But Vicky, thank you. You handled that very well. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Vicky. It's really an interesting article, right? Because I think the only thing that I could take from it, because this is not new to me, this is not new propaganda, this is not new attempts to, harm a community. It's not new. And the thing that keeps rolling over in my head is like, I think what scares me more than, what scares me more than the idea of young people wanting to socially transition, which doesn't require any surgeries, doesn't require any hormones, just requires you let them wear what they want, you let them use what name they want, you let them use what pronouns they want. That's all. That's it. So what's scarier than that to me is all of these, sorry to throw this into a stereotype, but middle-aged white men who are so concerned about what a minor is doing with their body. Like, why is it important to you? Why do you care that much? That's
Really
really
creepy, honestly.
that's
but
really creepy, actually. So like,
like I have never wanted to know what's going on in someone's pants like that.
no, it's like it's like that's a really private thing, and so
Dang.
it's that's scarier, the idea of these people wondering what's in my kid's pants, than like the idea of letting a child socially transition. And the idea of detransitioning, to me, I have never ever known a person who has ever detransitioned or ever regretted having their surgeries or ever any of that. And I'm not saying they don't exist, because I'm sure it happens, but the reasons are definitely not because of personal regret. At least I don't think so. I think it's a lot of societal pressure. I think it's a lot of familial pressure. I think it's the idea that everybody's going to abandon them and they're going to be alone with no support for being who they are. So they go back into the closet, and it's not okay.
And it's
at
honestly,
all.
Sadly, the fact is they are left alone.
And it's harmful in
and it's hard to
massive
be alone.
ways. Like, it's awful. I can't imagine having to feel that way and go through that feeling that you can't be who you are. So you'd rather be supported and miserable the rest of your life than be happy but alone. And it's that fear for sure.
That's a tough one. Is it even support at that point, though? I mean, I know that's
it's fake
because,
support.
It's fake, exactly, because it's not really support. Yeah. Foster, you were saying?
For me, like a lot of my thinking is very intersectional, and I think since I'm neurodivergent, I'm very passionate. A lot of my human rights thinking, and it all comes down to human rights, and I'm just like, everyone can relate to their need for basic human rights. So, women understand their need for rights, like Christian understand their need to be like Christian. So I'm like, I don't understand why you need to infringe upon other people's rights. Like, people change, people evolve, and I'm very passionate about my parenting. I'm a conscious parent. Like, my son's gonna change. If he wakes up and he says he's a girl, I'm gonna support him in that, and we're gonna go through those motions. People like jump off the deep end with it. They act like tomorrow my son's gonna wake up and say I'm a girl. I'm gonna say, let's go chop off your, like what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Like, y'all are acting crazy right now. Like what is going on? Like,
what I found out
we're gonna have to evolve through, and people just don't have the patience for it at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I found out was, I mean, I'm just going to come out and say it, what Rowan was kind of alluding to. It's for political numbers. It's not because they care about kids. Case in point, Elon Musk has a transgender child. Elon Musk is neurodivergent. Today is national. Oh, by the way, today is National Trans Parents Day. Okay, flowers.
Oh, heck yeah!
I put flowers in the comments. But those are for Rowan's mom.
Yeah,
right. Yes. But so you would think that such a person, would not do what we're talking about doing, like he did, like allowing a very obviously self-proclaimed, I don't know if it's left or right, I don't know which direction the wing is, but they're anti-trans people to take over a platform that has millions of people. I left X once I heard, I don't know, 7 months ago. I don't blame him, because people are still using X. That's why he feels that he has power. Because if we all hit him where it hurts by just everybody boycotting X, I think he would not.
Which is sad. Because if I was rich like him, I would be supporting my kid to no end.
Exactly.
Buying out all these kinds of
bills. It's so wasted on somebody like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, what are you saying about trans people?
And I think one thing, so I took the opportunity after reading this article discussing this social media post that's going to be out, this movie that's going to be out, talking about detransitioning and regret. And basically this propaganda is being used across the country in the legislatures. It is being used to convince people who want political power to, support these anti-trans bills. And so it's an agenda. and now it's going to be put on a social media site. And
Yes.
the article
Pushed.
pain discussed two things, which is detransitioning, which is very rare, but then they also mentioned something else called regret. And I really feel like that is one of the most critical parts. A person may feel societal pressures to no longer go by certain pronouns. They may feel societal pressures from their family, their loved ones, to, as you said so beautifully, Rowan, go back in the closet because you can't get a job. They actually did a study looking at the reasons people detransition, and generally it's usually because pressure from family, pressure from society, not able to get a job, pressure from spouse. You just get so much pressure, you don't keep that up. But the concept of regret after someone maybe has surgery, because that's the big thing that gets pushed out there. Because as we're talking about, surgery is not
so small
the thing. I mean, the gender expression is not just surgery. In fact, it's a little, as my daughter would say, Rowan, she had thought it was very creepy that people were always concerned with what was in her pants. Like she thinks it's creepy.
Yes.
That was like the first thing that I got asked when I said I was non-binary. People would be like, "What are you going to do about your boobs?"
Yeah.
Yes, I was waiting
why
for,
is it
I love
any of
what
your
Eric
business?
just said.
Like,
Yeah,
what
I love
about
what
my
Eric
boobs?
just said.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
cosmetic
but if
surgery,
I wanted,
people that have
if
cosmetic,
I wanted
I
bigger
had
boobs,
cosmetic
no one would have a
surgery.
problem with that.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry.
I feel like though, but you know what it is, right? Is that going detransitioning because of societal pressure doesn't sell news. It doesn't get what they want to get across, and it is propaganda. We all know it's false. Like,
and also, I want to say,
do.
just like these detransitions happen years and years and years after transition. Okay, well, let's interview you in a decade from now.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I want to see why you did what. Like, I want to know how you feel now, but 10 years from now.
I do want to mention something that Eric Joy Denise is saying. Cosmetic surgery, the study has shown, and that wasn't mentioned in this. They mentioned knee surgery. They said 1/3 of people, which is 33% of people who have knee surgery, regret knee surgery. But I have news for you. 67% of people who have cosmetic surgery regret cosmetic surgery. But 1 to 3% of people who have gender affirming surgery regret. But you don't hear anybody talking about 67%.
Wow.
Also,
That's powerful.
People don't complain about gender affirming care when it's cisgendered people, because
Exactly.
men get Viagra all the time.
Hello?
All the time.
Are you talking about Viagra? I'm talking about lip injections. I'm talking about toupees.
Girls get let's get bigger tits, let's get a BBL. Like, I will put my life on risk to go to Mexico.
To go to Brazil.
Let's just make it rain in Viagra. But like, nobody questions that at
Nobody
all. Like,
talks about
you have
that.
a heart condition, I'm gonna still give you Viagra. Like, no one questions it.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder what really is there. Who really has an agenda? Who really has an agenda?
Right.
And you know,
exactly.
while we're talking about it, I'm just going to ask and if you've listened to me speak before, you probably know the answer to this. Who knows who gets the most gender affirming surgery?
Oh, like cisgendered dudes.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's cis men actually, but they don't realize it.
Cisgender men who get toupee.
They get hair.
Man boobs. They have man boob jobs.
They get breast tissue removed.
The highest rate of because the definition of gender affirming surgery is any kind of surgery that makes you feel comfortable in your skin.
Exactly.
Isn't a vasectomy like? That's not
you went there.
Well, cisgendered men can have gynecomastia on their chest, and it'll look like top surgery.
Yeah.
They're cis.
So,
but Kim, you went there with that vasectomy.
Yes. I went there. I went there. I'm about to go somewhere else right now too.
Let's go.
We're here. I'm
Pop
ready to
off.
go.
Let's go.
Kim bought the boxing. Kim bought the boxing bag so she could go there.
She's
Kim,
ready to
I have to get a boxing bag with all this stuff going on. I need to hit something. So let's talk a little bit about that article again. I was writing some notes, Vicki, when you were talking. So the detransitioning, parents will have fear that their child is going through a phase initially, right? Initially, that's always a fear. I mean, it's normal. Let's acknowledge it. But when things progress past the point of a phase, now it's gone on for 3 or 4 months, then it goes on for a year. Like a lot of the societal pressures with that initial transition is so hard. And it can affect our kids, mental health. And I think it's important to know that, parents still need to have that freedom to, get the mental health counseling that they need for their kids, get the gender affirming care that they need for their kids. And let's be real, a lot of, just even socially transitions pulls them out of that darkness because there are some affirming measures taking place. Doesn't have to be surgery, but you can't scare a parent like me with, oh, your kid might want to change their mind one day, because I'm just trying to get them to survive into adulthood.
Right.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Not only
I don't
thrive.
Yeah.
We want
Thrive.
we want them to thrive, but on some level, Kim, we're fearful for their survival. See, that's what's so hard.
Yep, you
It's a
nailed it.
duality. It's a duality, especially with the laws and stuff. Because I live in Texas, so for me as a parent, I'm like, so you mean to tell me if I support my child, if they choose to, live outside of this box you've created, that I could have CPS called on me?
Yeah.
Like my child could not be my
no.
child? Like, I'm
See,
confused.
these people writing these articles or doing these documentaries without the knowledge, or maybe they have an experience. I don't know. I'm not I don't know about what's in the documentary, but as a parent of a trans child or two, so the case may be,
Or more. Yeah.
my ultimate fear is just their survival in the world today. And that means, they need to be in a good, they can't be in a major depression. You can't, they can't be, self-harming or, having talks and thoughts of suicidal ideation and things like that. But we need to take care of them in that way. It's so important. But this is where the talks between the doctor and the parents need to happen, and the government needs to stay away.
And
the government needs to stay away.
Thank you for saying that. I want to say one thing, and then we're at the bottom of the hour, so we have to do our commercial. But that was a perfect statement, Kim, because the thing I want to close on is what I am a proud member of the American Academy of Family Physicians, the North Carolina Academy of Family Physicians, and I am absolutely want to say that the American Academy of Family Physicians, the American Medical Association, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, the American Psychological Association, and I can go on, American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, I can go on, all support gender affirming. There are no qualified board certified physicians that belong to an organization that does not support gender affirming care, because all of the important associations of physicians supports this care, because it is life-saving. And that's what we want to get through at the end, the bottom of the hour.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it is life-saving.
Yeah.
It is life-saving. That's it.
The doctor and the patient, and the doctor and the family, not the government.
Yes. And it's life-saving. If we haven't said it already,
one more thing, and I'm
going to pay my bills, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, we got
Bills.
And I'll be right back.
I'm
So
sure
this segment of the show, the Moms for Trans Kids show, is brought to you by Apollo Wellness. So Apollo Wellness is an LGBT plus affirming medical clinic that is located in the northwestern side of San Antonio, Texas. For those of you who know me, you know I live in the northwestern side of San Antonio, Texas. Apollo Wellness is also located on the northwestern side. And what they do is they have you come in as you are, no judgment, LGBT, transgender, somewhere in between, No judgment, especially this focus on people who have HIV or who need HIV care. So please, if you can hear my voice and you know someone or you are someone in that bracket, go see them. Tell Dr. Lulu sent you. You might even get a 10% discount. But if you don't get a discount, pay your bill, but go see them anyway. All right, that's it. All right, and we are back. So hi, Tori. Tori's sending some flowers.
Hi, Tori. Sorry about that. I was waiting. Didn't want to interrupt anybody.
Kim.
Exactly.
Yes.
Child, yes.
Exactly, Kim.
Is that Kim? Kim, are you the one saying that? Is it our Kim?
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't want to lose my thought. You know how I am.
Oh, good, good,
Oh
good.
yeah,
I
no,
have
but I love
ADHD.
that.
I feel
I
you.
put it.
No,
All right, so I
very
put it in the
passionate
comments.
person.
Feel free to use that technique. It keeps me on track.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I
Read your
can't see
comment,
you.
Kim. What is
Yeah.
your
But
comment?
this is so true. One thing I want to mention about child transitioning and not the parents transitioning the child is I want to just mention one thing that I observed recently is that when a child is transitioning, the entire family is also transitioning. So don't forget that. It's not a one-man show. We're all in it together. So if you come for my kids, I'll come back for you. But this segment of the show, we're going to kind of shine light on our special guest today. Hey, Jackie Hallberg says we have a lot of allies. Thank you so much for your allyship. Yes. And Jackie, if you'd
Thank
like
you,
to come on the
Jackie.
show, let us know. But so our special guest today is Rowan. Rowan and I met on the dance floor, I think, at the party that we're having for.
So it was Samantha Lux's Trans Roundtable.
Oh, it was at the event that I spoke at. Okay.
Yes, because
You're
that
right.
was the moment I was like, this lady. I love this so much. And then
Oh.
I got up and talked about my story, kind of, and got a little emotional, I guess. And then we met up again at the gala, and we had a grand old time. So
I think I remember you. You talked about your mom and your journey. I think was it your mom or somebody else's journey?
Yep.
But did I give you a hug or something that day?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember.
you did.
And I know anybody that I hug because my hugs are special. Okay,
Oh, you
so
give
can you
awesome
tell us a
hugs.
little bit about why did you decide to come on the show? I mean, as you know, I ask everybody, but you said yes. So why did you feel a need to come on the show?
So it's really important to me that I find myself in this the way that I tell people this, I am in a very unique position where as a trans man, I've had like one bad experience with one person because of my gender identity and me expressing my gender identity. That's crazy, right? In this day and age, like I've been nothing but loved and supported by everybody around me since I came, like my whole life, but even since I came out as trans. Exactly. So I find myself in this position where I can talk to people about it, talk to people who have questions about it, and not be quite as guarded as somebody who unfortunately was not treated the same way. And it's important to know that while there are many, many unfortunate like situations where trans people are estranged from their families because their families don't accept them, or because their families choose not to love them anymore because they're just being who they are, which isn't who the parent expects them to be. But it's important to know that there are stories that are not like that. There are situations where a trans person is completely supported and loved and encouraged and protected by their parents. And I'm one of those stories. So I felt like it was very important to share it and very important to showcase the good parents and the good side and the good part, because we talk so much about transgender sadness and trans and non-binary grief, and we need to talk more about trans joy.
Yes.
We still
I just wrote
keep that in
down.
mind.
And on Trans Parents Day,
but bring the joy, because without that, we just
look, I just wrote it
you
down. I
know.
was like,
I will say that my daughter Sarah Grace, she is 24, and she actually had gender affirming surgery this year. And that's 8 years. I mean, so that's the thing, Rowan, there's so many parts of gender and gender expression, but she has so much joy. I mean, I don't think any understood how hard that must be to live in a body that is not consistent with your gender identity. And then the joy in her soul, just in her presence, like just being in her presence is more joy filled for her, just because she aligns so completely with who she feels she is. It was pretty impactful.
The confidence just soars, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The
And,
confidence
and
level.
like how much supporting her helped do that. Because it's like, you know, no matter what that like line was, you just supported her through that whole journey.
She never thought she would do it. She just said there was a point where suddenly she kind of came to that. And everyone has a different journey, and not everyone does that. And you just have to be loved and supported. And your mom is amazing, because it takes amazing moms to say.
And I can absolutely relate to, because it'll be 6 years in March since I had my gender affirming top surgery. When I shout out to my mother, who, not like, my insurance covered most of it, but my mom paid for the out-of-pocket costs. My mom took me to the hospital early that morning. She stayed there all day long, and she brought me home, and she stayed at my apartment with me for the first week, and then I went and stayed
an honor to be
at
there
her
on
house.
both days you were born.
She's just like, you, I'm gonna make sure that you have someone to take care of you. I'm going to be there, because she worried the entire time I was in the OR, you know, because of course she did.
She's your mom.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
I'm here to be here when you're born. No,
I think one of the
what.
first things I said when I first woke up the first time, but right out of surgery, was, did anybody tell my mom that I'm out of surgery? Like, I'm pretty sure it was that. It just, you know, it's one of those situations where I wish that on other people, for other people to have that, but like, I can relate in the matter of after top surgery, it just felt natural. It felt like this is what it was supposed to be like. I felt like this is how I'm supposed to look. This is how I've looked. I can't imagine anymore. Even weeks after surgery, I can't imagine that weight of my chest anymore. I couldn't imagine that dysphoria that I felt. I couldn't imagine like what was there before. It was just like, this is just how it's always been. And that's and everybody that had known me was like, you are holding yourself like much more confidently, and like, you are clearly so much happier. And it's important. That's why it matters, you know.
It's amazing. That's
so beautiful.
And look at what Eric Joy Denise is saying. Denise, I told my parents I should have been born female at 5. I want to even stop there and reiterate to those of us parents who, like me, in my case, my child didn't say that anything about gender diversity at all until they were 2020, 22. But I was the one pushing and saying, but you're not a girl, so stop acting like a girl, you know. But my child never said that. But you know what? My child didn't have a chance. And so I want parents who are listening to us to know that sometimes, because your kids are scared, they want to please you, they want to do everything that you do. And my own kid said, Mom, I will take all of the spelling bee awards, all of the scholarship, I'll take it all away if you had just seen me for who I was. So when I say that parents, I'm not saying you should not take your journey, but as a child advocate, your journey is important or not, but not more important than your child's journey. Look at what Eric is saying. At the age of 5, Eric was telling the parents at 5, and it took the entire childhood and adulthood for the parents to keep saying, no, you're not. No, you're not. So when I say what I say, this is, I didn't even know Eric was good. Eric, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank
Eric,
you,
you need to come on the show.
And even in adulthood, that's something that is still stuck with them.
Yeah. Say that again, sorry?
I said even in adulthood, that's still something that is stuck with them. Their whole life is something that happened when they were 5.
Yes.
So like, you know, as long as you center that child that just need to be seen, and it's like we said, that very small percentage of detransitioners, even if they're that very small percentage, what does it hurt in supporting your child? Because they'll know even if they detransition, they're supported.
Exactly.
It's you know, it's that simple.
How would they know if they didn't take the chance?
Yeah, but going back to what Vicky said, though, Vicky said she listed the reasons why they detransition. And so if you go back and look at the list of reasons why they did transition in the first place, you will see that in my case,
societal norms.
There's a number that was not mentioned. There's a particular item that wasn't mentioned there. Vicky, do you still have that thing up? Do you want to read it to us again?
Let me pull it up. I was kind of
okay. While you're pulling it up, I want to say that there's something that was not mentioned there.
Well, the article, and again, I need to go back to it's the human rights.
The Human Rights Campaign article. So, but the thing that was not, while you're looking for it, there's something that was not mentioned there, and that is the threat of homicide.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay? For a mother of a Black trans woman, I don't care if she's going to the mailbox. I am thinking about the threat of it's not there, and you know why? Because the majority of Black trans women that are being killed, and so they're not gonna. Who's gonna ask them? Exactly. Nobody's asking them.
It was a National Center for Transgender Equality survey, and the respondents to the National Center for Transgender Equality survey, and again, we're talking about 1 to 2% of people that detransition. When they asked them why, the numbers were too much harassment or discrimination after they began transitioning, trouble getting a job, pressure from a parent, spouse, or other family member. Now, interestingly enough, you're right. They don't mention fear of being murdered, but I mean, as a parent, I'll be honest, one of my great fears was that my daughter, and again, I think this is for any marginalized population, right? That fears brutality and retaliation because of who they are. The fear as a parent for that child is they'll be somewhere in the middle of nowhere in a neighborhood that's not great, or they'll run into people that want to cause them harm because they're the wrong gender identity, gender expression, color of their skin. Who knows? I mean, we live in a world where as a parent, we have fear.
Yes. I love what you said. I love what you said, because just kind of bringing it home to the fact that it's not just the Black trans woman. There is the Matthew Shepherds of the world. I have to say that to remind people that it's not just the Black trans women. In my case, that's my fear. But there's the Matthew Shepard. That's not a Black trans woman. I mean, of course, I want him to rest in peace and keep resting in peace. But sometimes you have to just kind of go somewhere so everybody knows that everyone who is minority, period, is at risk. Right.
My friend, and this is off topic, and of course, a completely different topic, but certainly in the George Floyd kind of era, my good girlfriend, who is a Black female physician, has 3 male sons. She told me she is always in fear. And so you're like, and then when Sarah transitioned, I realized now I understand that fear. Now, when Sarah presented as a cis male, I didn't really worry about someone taking advantage of that child.
That is a whole post.
I didn't.
That is a whole book.
But when
Vicky, you need to write that book. You must write that book.
When she became a trans female, I'm like, oh my God, like, where are you? And are you there by yourself? I mean,
yes, but this is so good. I want to say something, then I'll let Kim pitch in, because I know Kim she always has something to say, which is good, not in a bad way. But I also haven't heard your voice in a while. But I wanted to say something about what Vicky just said. Vicky, I was at the Black Transgender Advocacy Coalition conference in May, and one of the people in that room was a Black trans man, and he said that when I was a girl, I didn't have that much fear, but now as a Black male, passing fully, he said, and I quote, "I have X marked on my back." That is a whole experience, right? Yep. So, but in my own case, I went from a son that I misgendered, right, to now a Black trans woman. So either way,
it was bad.
Yes, I just want y'all to hear, when you hear me screaming and shouting, I want you to know why I'm doing this. Because however you look at it, my kid has X marked on her back. But go ahead, Kimmy or Vicky. I don't know who was.
So Kim, if you have something to say, and then we need to take a quick break.
Okay.
Dr. Lulu, I'm hoping that you'll do a post on the statistics that you had mentioned previously. It was at the beginning
I
the regrets of detransitioning.
For regular boob jobs, yes.
The surgery
Please
regrets.
do. Please
Yeah.
do.
But we have 2 doctors on the podcast right now. Like, this is not a topic that needs to have the government involved. I mean, if we've got 2 doctors, we've got the World Health Organization, we've got all these other affiliated, medical geniuses that are saying, it's all in the books. This is how you treat, people that come in for gender affirming care. Here's a book on how to do it. Now, there's no book on how to parent a transgender kid, but there's a book on how to give them medical care. So let's just follow it. Like, everybody sit down. Let's just follow the book and be done with. I'm so over it. But you know how I get all worked up.
But
I
Kimmy, that's why I said
understand
We're
completely.
all on the same page.
We're over it.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna take a quick break. I'm on the
Okay.
timekeeper.
Okay. So we are taking a quick break. The show is called Moms for Trans Kids Podcast. Thank you all so much for listening to us so far. We're looking for questions, comments. If you think you want to come on the show, if you know someone who needs to come on the show, holla at your girls, holla at all of us, holla at Foster and Rowan. Just let one of us know. We are open for business. We're asking people to come and share their stories. We are connected. I forever say we're connected by our storylines because we are. So the show is called Moms for Trans Kids, and we are going to be going live officially on the 13th of November. Who knows what other thing we celebrate? Oh yeah, this is the wrong place to ask this question because Rowan and Foster know, but who knows what? So for the people that are watching us, what else do we celebrate on the 13th of November? And if you don't know the answer, go on my page. I wrote a post at 5:30 that has the answer on it. But 13th of November, we are also going to be launching this podcast. So you can now have it in your car. You can listen to it in your room any other time because it's going to be available on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to join the launch team, Kim is going to share the link in the chat sometime soon. So you can sign up to be on our launch team so that on the 13th at midnight when it goes live, I'll email all of y'all because yes, I'll be up. So you can just subscribe at that moment and then share it widely so we can get as many people as possible to come on the show. And we are back from break. Over to you, Vicky.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we have about 10 minutes. Let's see. Is that correct? We have about 7 minutes. Yes. 7 minutes to go. And in our final minutes, number one, we all want to thank Rowan for joining us and his mother backstage.
I know. Can we just let Mom in for a second? I'm going to make
Mom. Hi, Mama. I love you, Mama.
Hi.
Happy Trans Parents Day, Mama.
This is
Good job, Mama.
I said hi, Mama, and Chance just started barking. I need you to know. He thinks you're here.
Oh, that's great. Hi.
It was just very.
All right,
I did tell. Sorry.
No, I was just going to tell your mom that she's a badass like us, but
go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't mess with my kids.
Mama bear. Yeah.
Oh, she's very Mama
I
bear.
love you already.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
We love you already, Kathy.
Kathy, yeah, that story. I'm going to tell you, Kathy, when my daughter had surgery, I was such a wreck. And I'm going to tell you this, and this is why I'm here. When my daughter began her transition, I had very few people to turn to that had any clue what I was going through. Very few people, and no one that really knew, and very few people to even talk to. But when Sarah Grace had her surgery, I sent a message to one of my friends I'd known for decades, and she happens to live not far from here. And she said, "I will come and I will sit with you."
You remember Rowan who came and sat with me?
Yeah.
She was
Jeffrey, right?
I was the mom who sat with you, Kathy. Who is it, Kathy?
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Actually, a classmate of my late sister's, Facebook friends with. He's a gay man living in Boston at the time. And when he found out what was going on, he had reached out to me, and I told him, he gave me all kinds of people that Rowan could reach out to in the Chicopee area where he was living at the time. and he said, where's the hospital? And at this time, I was at the hospital. Rowan was in surgery. And he says, where are you? He said, I'll bring coffee. And he
That's
sat
what
with
she
me.
did.
Yeah.
That's what she did. She
Yes, he
drove.
He drove all, he came to the hospital with coffee and pastries, and we sat and talked hours.
This
He
is what we
stayed,
need to do.
until Rowan was out
And
of
that's all you
surgery.
need sometimes.
Yep.
Is he
I
single?
would just like to say I'm offended because I did not get any pastries. I did not know there were pastries. It's been
No,
6 years, and now I'm upset.
Now here's
I want to know if
here
he's
was
single.
yeah. I got to tell you though, his first words out of surgery, he looked in his Johnny like this, and he went, "Mom," and he's crying, "Mom, they look so good." It was awesome. Yeah.
It is awesome. Thank you.
What
so
a
beautiful.
what a great way to celebrate National Parents of Trans Kids Day. That one.
Transparency.
Yeah.
Transparency.
Transparent.
She do.
What a
With
beautiful
the parent that was
testimony.
there for
Thank
the
you so
birth
much
of
for
their child.
yeah.
On
Thank
both
you.
days. Like,
Yeah. My
Yeah.
my kid, he's got there's no question in my mind that
Amen.
what I would do.
Amen.
Period.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
as we round up the show, I'm going to take a moment to thank Rowan again. But before we leave, Rowan, where can the people find your books? Because you mentioned something about books earlier on. Can you tell us? Actually, we have enough time for you to tell us what kind of books you write, and do we need to be getting autographed copies? What's going on?
Well, so
Where
I
can
have
we
nothing
follow
published
you?
yet. Most of my work is not original like story settings. I write a lot of fan fiction. But my original work, currently the one that I'm working on is working title is All the Stars in Texas. So maybe someday I will publish it. Be on the lookout for it. It's like partly a Bonnie and Clyde type story, partly a finding yourself story, and partly a found family story. And I'm so excited to be working on it, and I cannot wait to like get it finished and get it edited and get it out there. And I've been writing since I was like 7 years old, so
Yeah.
one of these days it's gonna happen.
Keep doing it.
Hi,
And Mama
Jessie.
Kathy is
Hi.
getting a lot
Hi,
of love
Jessie.
from Jessica.
That's my
I
wife.
wanted to
Oh,
say hi to
nice.
my
Oh,
bestie,
wow.
Isha.
Okay.
My
It's a
bestie,
family
Isha.
affair up in here, people. And Eric Joy says, I used to think that children were given
I
to me
love
so that I
that.
could mold them and shape them. Actually, it's the reverse. Yeah.
I
They
love
were
that.
given to me
I
so that
love
I
that,
could.
Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's so true because my child's 4 and I feel like I learned so much from him. I'm 31 and I feel like there's so much I actually did not know.
Oh, there's a lot more. How old?
Yeah, and and this is just the beginning of it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wait.
That's why my text children
That's the
lead.
beginning of it.
Oh my God. So beautiful. So you know what? Every good thing must come to an end. This is as far as I'm concerned, this is the family reunion. I plan when we get to guest number 100, y'all hold me accountable. The guest number 100, we're going to do 2 things. We're going to publish all the stories in the book, and we're going to have a reunion.
Yay!
All the guests will come in person.
Everybody.
Somewhere in Vegas.
I don't know about in person, but I'm in
Somewhere
Massachusetts.
in Vegas. You're going to be invited. You don't have to come. But if I say I'm doing something, I'm going to do it. So
We're just gonna
you're
have
gonna all be invited.
Kids
You
pop
can
like
come
summit.
or not, but
Yeah.
you're going to be invited. It's so good. Thank you all so much for
Thank
choosing.
you so much
First
for
of all, I want to
having
thank
me.
No, thank
I want
you
to
for
thank
coming.
Mama Kathy for joining us
Yes.
today.
Any
Happy
Kathy,
accidents.
you're
Thank you,
amazing.
Mama.
Yeah.
And then I want to
Thank
thank
you.
Rowan for coming on the show and actually for signing up while we were in Orlando. That's when you signed up to come on this show. I remember now.
Yep.
And then I want to thank Foster for accepting the invitation to join the quartet. Because y'all, if you didn't know, Foster is not just back for a show. Foster is back for good.
We got her.
Love
Yes.
that.
Thank you for
And
having me.
thank you
I'm
for
I want to
Eric
say
also.
thank you forever to Vicky on the spot, taking over and just running the show and did a great job for that matter.
She
And
like
then last
came
but
in
not
with the
least,
facts.
very
She's like,
good.
I've got this.
Yes. And then last but not least, Kim, always Kim, Thank you all so much
The right
for
hand.
coming on the show. It's called Moms for Trans Kids Show. Tell one person, if everybody watching us now or hearing us can tell just one person about the show, and then sign up. Oh, what happened to the link? Oh no, I
I
need
didn't
the
put
link.
the link. All right,
Sign
hang
up
on.
for the wait list.
I'm gonna put
Oh, the
Yes,
waitlist
I
link.
need the link for
Yeah.
the waitlist.
Oh,
I will. I
can
will
put it in
still
the
put
comments.
them. I'll put them everywhere else, but
I
just
can put it
for the
in
show.
the comments.
But yeah. And otherwise, we'll take questions. We have an email. Thanks to Foster.
Thank you.
I didn't remember that we had an email. Our email is
Yes,
moms
be on the
for.
lookout for social media accounts to follow y'all.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Foster's
Yes.
getting our act
Well,
together.
I gotta say this: Foster joined the team, and then I got like a bunch of stuff. I don't know what.
I got a little excited.
Jessica
I
says
love it.
fantastic show.
I
Thank you,
love
Jessica.
Thank you,
Jessica, when we do the spouses episode, Jessica, you're gonna come as a spouse. Yes. Rowan, did I just see your finger do this, Rowan?
Oh yeah, I'll remind her. Don't you worry.
Okay, good.
I'll remind her.
So when we have the spouses episode, Jessica is coming. But on a more serious note, thank you all so much for being here. This was definitely a dream that I was gonna kill, and then Kim was like, "No, don't kill the dream." And then Vicky's like, "Well, who said anything about killing dreams?" And then before I know it, we're here. So please stay
Why would you
tuned
stop
for
something that hasn't started?
yes.
Yes.
Stay tuned for the link to sign up to help us dissipate the information on our launch day, which is November 13th. My name is Dr. Lulu. I want to give everybody 1 minute to say something as we go out of here. I'm going to start with Vicky. Vicky, you got 1 minute.
Oh my gosh, I am. I'm just filled with joy to have spent this hour talking with moms and Rowan, and knowing that the work we're doing here and the conversations we're doing here are going to be available on a larger stage, and will hopefully give hope and support to people out there that are scared and worried and fearful, to know that you can have trans joy and trans joy as a family, and it's wonderful. And so we're here to support, and just thrilled to be part of this.
So good. So good. What about you, Kimmy? I'm just gonna go according to how I see you on the screen.
Sure. So thank you guys. This was a great show. This was super fun, and thank you, Kathy. Again, you joined the Badass Mama Bear Club.
Yeah.
I love it.
Moms take
we
note.
accept all members. Yeah. So just a reminder for those watching, this show is not rehearsed.
No.
No.
But I want to, kind of tease you a little bit to say that it's not rehearsed. So what you see is what you get in our podcast. Our feelings, our emotions, our passion, our worry, our fear, our dread, our turmoil. It's just real. And so tune in. You just never know what's going to happen. So, but thank you all for watching and being here.
So true. So true. What about Mama Kathy? I'm going to give you the mic for 2 seconds to say something.
Take it, Mama.
Yes.
Well, my hair okay? Okay.
Yeah,
you're fine.
Too late for that.
I know, right? I had no idea, so there you go. I just want to say how proud I am of Rowan and everything that he's accomplished with all the hurdles he had to go over. There were times that I was extremely worried and extremely fearful for his safety. He had a stint in Atlanta, which was very stressful for all of us. But that's past, and he moved forward, even though he was afraid many times. And now he's married, got a house that he bought on his own, and good job, beautiful wife,
Trans joy.
neurotic dogs, the whole package.
Dramatic dogs.
Yes. Dramatic dogs, yes. But I'm proud. I'm very proud. Love that kid.
Well done.
I'm proud.
Well done.
Oh wow.
And we have, I think Foster and then me. And then Rowan and then me.
Okay. I'm Foster. I'm just really happy to be here. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. I'm very passionate about it. Like, we're all human. We're here for a short time. just like live and let live. It's not that hard. And just thank you guys for having me. Thank you so much.
So awesome to meet you.
I know. I'm like, I'm literally gonna find you.
Yes. Rowan is on,
Hunt me down
Rowan
on
is
Facebook,
on.
LinkedIn. I'm around.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask Rowan how the people can follow you because you're the guest. To
Yes,
tell us how
please.
people can follow you.
Please
Yeah,
tell
I
us.
know you don't have any books published yet, but
Yeah, no.
how
Really
can
the
they
best
follow
place
you?
is LinkedIn, just because it's like
LinkedIn.
my others are I don't know how to describe them. I don't use X. I have Instagram, but it's just for my art.
LinkedIn works.
LinkedIn works. LinkedIn works on a professional level. Let's go with that.
Under Rowan, Rowan, Rowan.
Yep, it's Rowan Michael Demond. So I can post it in the private chat also.
Yeah, pop it in the
Yes,
comments.
please.
Yeah. Should I go?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then let me put that. So somebody said loved this episode. 92 Virtuoso loved this episode. Rowan's story was beautiful and refreshing. Every trans person deserves this. Oh, yes. Thank
Absolutely,
you.
1000%.
Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, this is why we're doing the show, so that because stories need to be told. And maybe, and you know, it's funny. I know we're already out of time, but I'm just gonna say something. Somebody took their time to call me today to tell me that they know all about Eastern beliefs from the Eastern part of the world, how they don't believe in male or female gender. They believe in male or female energy. And he wants me, and he meant well, but he said he wants me to help because of the work that I do, helps dissipate the information that rather than looking at it as male energy or female energy, we should look at male or female gender. We should look at it as energy. And if we're looking at it as energy, then people will not want to mutilate their body, and then they won't have to regret their body. There was only one question.
He was so close.
Yeah, I know.
So close.
I know.
He had me.
I know.
Yeah,
Tell
that is the first half, not gonna lie.
It was so close.
It's all right.
Yeah.
That's another episode. That's another episode.
That's another
Yes.
episode.
Yeah,
It
you
is
know what?
another
Let me-
episode. We will
let
expound
me
on it.
tease it. I'll let Kim remind us for next week. Let me just tease it because he was so close. And then he said he needs me, someone like me who has a platform, to tell these people so that they won't have to regret all this body, whatever. And I only usually ask one question. And the question is, very respectfully, sir, are you gender diverse?
I don't think so.
And then boom. Oh, me? Oh no, but I have a lot of gay friends.
Yeah.
Oh,
They always
boy.
do.
Cannot roll my eyes hard enough.
Let's just say I unleashed the dragon in a nice way. But we'll talk about that next time.
We're out of time.
Yes, we are. That will be a good episode.
That's an
That'd be a
episode.
good
Talk
episode.
about
As a matter of fact, I might even
That's an
invite
episode.
him, but I know
Oh,
No, please.
This is not an education.
It would just be a roast at that point. I don't think that.
Exactly.
I can't control this, right? That was my fear of
I
doing a
only have
podcast.
so much bandwidth.
I think we are out of time.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Again, thank you
Oh
so
my
much,
God.
Rowan. You were like, y'all's story was just beautiful, and
Thank
I
you
hope
for having
hope
me.
so many people listened.
I'm
took
really
it
excited
in.
that this podcast exists because it's important that people know that there are moms out there for them. Like, if I like representing the trans youth, 33 youth, and just there are people out there who are going to love and support you, and it's important to know that. It's very important to know that. So thank you all for doing this podcast, for being moms that are supportive of their trans kids and willing to scream about it. It's phenomenal. Like, words cannot express. It's so good. So good.
All right.
Thanks,
And
Rowan.
on that note,
Thank
that is
you.
a beautiful note to end. All of y'all, join me next week. Next week is Transgender Awareness Week. Please join me on LinkedIn. I'm going to hold an audio room every single night next week at 6 p.m. Central. And I think Rowan got to pick the time. So it's going to be 6 p.m. Central next week, all week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, to celebrate Transgender Awareness Week. It's going to be an audio room. If you're trans, If you know a trans person, if you think you know a trans person, if they live in your street, in your neighborhood, tell them to come and join us on LinkedIn next week. Until next week, my name is Dr. Lulu, aka the Momatrician. I am out. Bye. That was good. That was a good.